Good day, everyone. So, today we're going to talk about your life online. Intended learning outcomes. In this lesson, students will learn their identity built online, as well as how to secure it. Students will also learn the negative impacts of continuous computer usage to one's health. Upon lesson completion, students will be able to recognize different blogs, forums, and wikis, understand how social media network functions and work, know the difference between open and closed social networks, describe the usage of LinkedIn, explain the essence and importance of maintaining good digital identity, expound on the behaviors of people online, and realize the risk of prolonged computer usage on one's health. We are social beings as a humans. We interact with each other every time. Everyone has a basic need for food, water, shelter, clothes, house, and air. As much as we need those, we also need to communicate. Communication is also one of our needs. We are expected to have friends, organization, community, and group because the people around us play a key role for us to survive. First, let's talk about blog. So a blog is a shortened version of weblog. So it is an online journal or informational website displaying information in reverse chronological order, with the latest post appearing first at the top. It is a platform where a writer or a group of writers share their views on an individual aspect or subject. Alright, so let's look at some examples of blogs. We have WordPress. So it's among the best blog sites out there. So it is a self-hosted version and by far the most popular blogging platform in the world. WordPress powers over 90% of all the blogs on the internet. This is the close cousin of the previous one. If you would notice, it's wordpress.org and this one is wordpress.com. So it is a blog site hosting service by Automatic. You can get a free blog with basic features, but for an advanced functionality, you need to opt for one of their paid plans. Wix. So it is similar to Squarespace. It allows you to put together your web presence via drag and drop and comes with a blogging ability that you can add to your site. Joomla, so it's an open source content management system. It helps you build powerful dynamic websites and applications. It has an intuitive interface that helps you use its features and functionality to the fullest. Next is Squarespace. So it's a drag and drop website builder which is aimed at small business owners. So it's a great all-in-one solution for non-technical people and offers hosting, domain registration, and the possibility for e-commerce. So it also has a blogging capabilities, which are the reason why it's one of the best blog sites out there. Weebly, it's another site builder with a modular approach and a web-based interface. So pick a template and position your content as blocks in different areas. Blogger, so this is a blog hosting service and it has been around for a long time. It was founded in 1999 and acquired by Google in 2003. As a consequence, you can sign up easily with just by using your Google account. Tumblr, of course, you may know this. It is a service that is microblogging that has a microblogging platform optimized for short form content. So it also has a community behind it and social network features. So think of it as a middle ground between WordPress and Twitter. Let's talk about forums. An online forum is a great place to discuss any particular topic with the like-minded people. So these forums are internet-based group communities where you can start a discussion or get an answer of your query or even search for new business prospects. These forums allow you to register with them, and after that you can look into the answers for various questions written by others, or you yourself can answer the question. Let's look at some examples of forums. We have Reddit. So it is a social news collection of web content along with ratings and the discussion of forum website. So Reddit's registered community members can submit the content on various topics in the form of text posts or direct links. Stack Overflow is quite popular question and answers web-based website for any type of computer programming related queries. Quora is a question and answer community where users can ask any logical and absurd questions in the forum. Users can collaborate by editing questions and suggesting edits to other users' answers. The website was made available in 2010 and slowly making its charm all around the world. So it is one of the most popular websites. Next is Yahoo Groups. So people can collaborate and discuss on various topics under varied categories. The other users can give positive and negative vote on various answers. The guest users can see the answers, but to answer the question, the users need to be registered with Yahoo. TripAdvisors. So for travel lovers, so it is a forum where the users can ask travel-related queries. They can also check the reviews of the hotels, locations, and travel options. So the users can discuss or post the comments, take precautions, and give suggestions along with the real pictures to give good information. Last, we have the Experts Exchange. So it is a paid website portal where the users can post their technology-related questions and expect the answers. The skilled members of the forum are quite efficient in responding to the queries, giving quite accurate answers to their queries. It allows you to network and collaborate with technical experts. So it gives the users a 30-day trial access in the paid account. A wiki is a collaborative tool that allows students to contribute and modify one or more pages, of course, related materials. Wikis are collaborative in nature and facilitate community building within a course. Essentially, a wiki is a web page with an open editing system. Now let's talk about social media networks. Facebook. It is one of the most recognizable social media platform in the world. With 2.7 billion monthly active users, more than a third of the world's population uses Facebook. Facebook allows you to send messages and post status updates to keep in touch with friends and family. You can also share different types of content like photos and links. Next is Twitter. It is a social network and microblogging service for real-time communication used by millions of people and organizations. Twitter users stay interconnected by posting updates known as tweets. To decide for sharing, exchanging, and discovering information. So tweets consists of 140 characters or fewer and can contain ideas and various types of information such as photos, videos, and links to articles. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet. You can use LinkedIn to find the right job or internship, connect and strengthen professional relationships, and learn the skills you need to succeed in your career. Another is YouTube. So it is a video sharing service where users can watch, like, share, comment, and upload their own videos. Instead of videos from major TV networks and movie studios, you'll find amazing and creative videos made by people just like you. Pinterest is a visual discovery engine for finding ideas like recipes, home and style inspiration, and more. With billions of pins on Pinterest, you'll always find ideas to spark inspiration. When you discover pins you love, save them to boards to keep your ideas organized and easy to find. The Instagram is a social media platform that emphasizes photo and video sharing via its mobile app. You can take, edit, and publish visual content for your followers to interact with through likes, comments, and shares. Next is Snapchat. So it is a popular messaging app that lets users exchange pictures and videos called snaps that are meant to disappear after they've been viewed. It's advertised as the new type of camera because the essential function is to take a picture or video, add filters, lenses, or other effects, and share them with friends. TikTok. So it is a Chinese-owned social video sharing app. Users can shoot, edit, and share 15 seconds videos jazzed up with filters, music, animations, special effects, and more. Like its fellow social media apps, user can also follow, like, and comment on everything they see. TikTok can be used on iOS and Android operating systems.
For open versus closed social media, LinkedIn recently introduced a new setting that allows you to convey your interest in new job opportunities to recruiters on LinkedIn. By toggling this option on, you are potentially opening your profile to more views by recruiters. In fact, LinkedIn states, "Sure that you're open to new opportunities and let your next job find you." Here's the problem. There is another recruiter premium package called Recruiter Lite. The cost of Recruiter Lite is $1,200 per year. Recruiter and Recruiter Small Business start at about $8,000 to $10,000 per year, and that's a big difference in cost. LinkedIn doesn't publish the total number of premium subscribers, but there are more small, independent, freelance recruiters using Recruiter Lite than the high-cost corporate recruiter packages. Now, consider all the other recruiters out there using LinkedIn for free. What does this mean to you? Absolutely. Toggle the "Let recruiters know you are open" option on, but do not totally rely on it. There are thousands of recruiters out there looking for someone like you who do not have access to that field. Here are the 7 ways to let all recruiters know you are open. Provide your phone number and email address in your summary section. First degree connections can see your contact information fields. Most recruiters aren't directly connected to you, so make it easy for them to reach you outside of LinkedIn. Next is upload a professional looking photo as your profile picture. Profiles missing profiles picture are red flag to your professionalism and seriousness. Upload a professional photo to be taken seriously by recruiters. Gather your career trajectory in your experience section. Your work history section is a critical aspect of your profile to a recruiter. A bare-bones skeletal experience section doesn't wow a recruiters and keeps them searching for other candidates. Recruiters look at the companies you've worked for, how long you've been at each position, your job title, your responsibilities, and your accomplishments. Include an engaging summary. The summary section is important to clarify your work history. It's often viewed after the work experience to figure out who you are. Have you changed career paths, or the recruiters use the summary section to explain any questions or confusions that arose from your experience section when they don't see what they were expecting to see. Next is optimize your headline, summary, and experiences with keywords. Recruiters know what they are looking for in a position, and if your profile or work history doesn't have the specific keywords associated with your field, it makes it harder for them to figure out if you are the right fit. Next is showcase a strong connection, a strong network. When you have a strong network, it shows the recruiter you're reaching out, open to connecting, and active in engaging others. Next is make your profile easy to read. Densely packed paragraphs make it difficult for recruiters to find information they need to evaluate if you're a good fit for a position. Use enter or return key to create white space between paragraphs. Use a bulleted list for your achievements and make sure you get to the point quickly. What are open and closed social networks? Open social networks allow internet users to view content through search engines and interact with anyone who uses platform. Pinterest is a great example of an open social network. Let's say that you type wedding decor in Google search engine. One of the top search results come from Pinterest. Those who have Pinterest accounts can then comment on the posts, repin them, or save them for later despite not being in the network of the post owner. In contrast, closed social media networks are restricted. They set limits on who can see your content and you won't find content on those networks unless you specifically search for them. Facebook and LinkedIn are examples of closed network depending on the personalized setting you use on each site. Next is managing your digital identity. Review and use privacy settings. Privacy settings control how visible your information and pictures are on the site as well as on search engines and how they are shared. Decide how visible you want your contact profile information, photos, videos, and postings to be. And then take the time to learn how to set the right level of control. Decide how searchable you want to be. Search is an important part of social media and is always part of the site. It's best to make it a conscious choice and set up your profile the way you want, rather than leave it to the left. Keep all tagged photos private. Tagging is a feature that allows you to associate your friend's name with their pictures. You would like to make tagged photos visible to certain users, you can choose to add them in the box under the Some Friends option or in the default settings. Don't share information that can help people steal your identity or locate you. Exercise good judgment when posting and sharing personal information. Never share your password with anyone, your social security number, including the last 4 digits, your birth date, home address, phone numbers. Business phone numbers can be an option. And state, don't share where you were born. Don't put your full resume online, or if you must, take it down when you have found employment. The use of your information and photos in social media sites ads are another consideration. Facebook owns ads, for example, can use your name or profile photo, but not other posted pictures, but only with your confirmed friends. First is create a Google Business Profile. Building a free Google Business Profile is the best way to connect with customers through Google Search and Maps. According to Brandify survey, 77% of consumers said they use Google Maps to search for nearby businesses, and 84% of consumers said they searched for a restaurant online in the last 30 days. This can be used as a PT for PT, especially looking for clients. Host online events. Going virtual with events is a great way to raise awareness and engage with people that would not otherwise be able to come into your brick and mortar location. It's also a practice that is part of our new normal. You can also go virtual with any events that you would otherwise have to cancel or postpone. Consider hosting or webinar or organizing a live session on Facebook or Instagram. It can also be used, especially Zoom is now a popular for giving away tons of ideas. Number 3 is be consistent. Make sure the services or products your company sells are being promoted and described in the same way on every platform you're on. Everything from the hours you're open to your latest sales promotion need to be the same to avoid confusion. If your online information is inconsistent, people may view you as dishonest, or at the very least find your information confusing. And in terms of a student using many websites, we should be knowledgeable in what to trust in the online websites. This also applies to studying. Fourth is clean up social media. Those frat party or spring break photos may have seemed appropriate to post at the time, but they can damage not only your personal but your business reputation. In these times of pandemic, social media is popular to remain professional. One should remove posts that is not appropriate. Next is enlist a professional service. Sometimes it's necessary to use a professional service to improve your reputation and expand your online presence. In doing sidelines as well so that you will be helpful in the environment and business will grow.
So for the online behavior, we as physical therapists, we are also exposed to many different types of user behaviors and online decision-making processes, especially for those PT who practice telerehab as their medium to interact with other people and to their clients who seek advice, no, medical advice for them. Um, so So for the patterns of behavior, or what we also known as the online personality types, no, there are six common listed personal types. No, first one, the wish listers. So first up is there is so many things I want, but no, I can't have this order. So these are the person that I've seen this pattern mostly in women and mostly on e-commerce websites. The visitor devotes lots of time and effort into carefully picking items she wants and putting them in her shopping cart. But the thing is, she's never buys themselves. So basically, this type of personal online behavior, is very difficult to handle, especially for those client, especially um, for those employees, Unlike yung real life shopping carts, the online cart promotes a feeling of ownership because the user can add and remove items at any time. So these are the factors that usually correlates with the wish list type of personality. For the next is the brand-oriented visitors. So this is the visitors who cares about nothing but staying up to date with the latest trends that everyone is talking about. His purchasing decision is based solely on the fact that the product is reputed as the top brand, and his focus of attention goes straight to the emotional characteristic of the product, such as the colors, the accessories, and the attractive images. His online interaction centers on playing with the product, switching its colors, and examining different accessories that can be added to it. For our third online behavior, we have the rational visitors. So on the other side of the coin is the rational visitors, whose two-step purchasing decision process involves number one is rejecting the options that do not meet her or his most important criterions, usually prices, and lastly is using cost benefit analysis to select from the remaining alternatives. The next one is the maximizer. This customer is obsessed with making the absolute best choice out of all available options. He reads through every single product listing from top of the page to the bottom and only then feels comfortable enough to make his selection. Regardless whether it is a $50,000 car or a $5 used CD, the maximum the maximizer can make up his mind until he has viewed every option. So this type of online behavior is basically wants to wants or worried about making bad purchasing decisions. No? That is why those who practice on a maximizer behavior, they usually um, choose or very difficult to choose what they want, what they really want. So for the fifth type of online behavior, we have the satisfiers. So this is the opposite of the maximizer. A customer who chooses the first product that satisfies her minimum or immediate needs. Now, we see these visitors start at the top of the page, begin scrolling down, and immediately stop and purchase when they find their match, regardless of how many other options are available. So these are the opposite of the maximizers, wherein for the satisfiers, they only want what is best or what is meets their criteria to or needs, no, or needs. So for the hesitator, last online behavior, we have the hesitator. So the hesitator fills out an online registration form or places desired items in a shopping cart, only to have second thoughts upon reaching the call to action or the CTA button. He then spends a significant amount of time clicking on different tabs and hovering over the CTA, as if he is waiting for the site to persuade him to click. So this is the last online behavior, common behaviors online. So we then now come to the computers and your health. So basically, this part of the discussion, we will discuss few risk factors on um, that may affect your life online. So we have musculoskeletal problems. So these includes areas of your body such as your back, neck, chest, arms, shoulders, and feet. You know, having sore muscles and complaints of the muscle being tired are common. Numbness may occur in the arms and hands, especially when the arms and the hands is positioned um, slightly higher or not appropriately. So these troubles may occur because the posture you assume when using the computer is most likely incorrect. So you may find that you are sitting in an uncomfortable chair or that you have a workstation that is not ergonomically correct for your body. You also have vision problems. No? Computers are notorious for their bright lights, glare, and flickering eye images that can cause strain on your eyes. Finding that you constantly focus on the screen with delays in blinking can result in drying out your eyes and eventually affecting your visual or your vision. So, for the repetitive stress injuries, you may notice pain in your neck, shoulder, really anywhere from the shoulder to your finger related to repetitive muscle use. Now, using a computer may cause you to use your muscle in an odd way that may cause increased stiffness, pain, swelling in any of those areas. So one of the most common condition related to repetitive use of your muscle is when you use computer in or one of the most common condition related to repetitive use of your muscle when using computer is the carpal tunnel syndrome, wherein part of your uh, in your hands, no, this carpal tunnel syndrome is caused by the compression of your nerve, which eventually causes a numbness and muscle weakness in your hands. It is very um, it is very problematic for your part, especially when you are doing works. So headaches are the common and may occur because of the increased muscle tension or from pain in the neck due to repetitive use, no, or the incorrect posture of your neck. Any vision problems or continuous strain on the eyes can also cause headaches. Obesity, prolonged use of computer may lead to overall sedentary lifestyle that lacks adequate physical activity and or exercise. In children, prolonged use of computer or electronics in general is a major contributing factors to obesity because when we sit very long enough, no, we lack physical activities. Eventually, it may lead to various injuries such as um, hamstring tightness, especially in your lower extremities, because you are practicing prolonged sitting, performing prolonged sitting. So stress disorders, technology impact our behaviors and emotions. Prolonged use of computer may be accompanied by poor health and increased pressure placed on you in your workplace environment, which could both lead to stress. Longer your stress occurs and is left untreated, the greater your chances are of contracting more serious health problems. Stress can lead to decreased attention span, lack of concentration, dizziness, and becoming easily burnt out. So for the laptop use injuries, laptop injuries falls into a category of their own. There is a growing use of laptops that continues to cause more pain and strain among those individuals who use them. Laptops are designed for short periods of use for those who do not have access to desktop computers. In the present day, individuals choose to use laptops over desktops more frequently due to conveniences. The problem is this: the screen and keyboards are very close together, and there is really no right way to use laptop, because if you position the screen at the right height for your back and neck, it will cause you to have a lift your arms and shoulders too high to use it, and vice versa. So no matter what, it will be probably cause a problem for you somewhere. Sleeping problems, artificial lighting that is given off from computer screens can actually trick your brain and suppress it. It suppressed its release of melatonin, no, the substance that acts your sleeping patterns. Hearing loss from headphones. At times, you may be required to use headphones in order to better concentrate on something, or maybe because the background noise level is too high. Frequently, individuals will turn the volume very high when actually it would not even need to be close to that volume to hear the audio effectively. So, listening to audio with headphones on a consistent basis and using a volume that is too high can result in hearing impairments. So, increased risk of blood clots. No? Being immobile and not allowing your blood chance to get moving around your extremities may cause it to pull, creating build up of blood cells that will eventually clot or stick together due to not being able to be circulated around. So basically, these part of the risk factors, no, usually encountered when using computers too so long. It is connected to having a sedentary lifestyle. So blood clots can be life-threatening if they break away from there where they are logged and travel to another area, such as your lungs. Sitting in one position for too long, especially if your legs are crossed, generally over a period of over 4 hours, can greatly increase your risk for this on developing risk of blood clots. So computer-related overuse injuries of hands and arm. So muscle and tendons can become painful with repetitive movement and awkward postures. This is known as overuse injuries, and typically occurs in elbows, wrists, or hand of computer users. Symptoms of this overuse injury include pain, swelling, stiffness of the joint, weakness, and numbness. No? There should be knowledge in how to prevent this, such as proper seat height, alignment, and eye to the computer itself. So basically, the best way to prevent using overuse injuries is planning your ergonomics, no, in using or in setuping computers or other device technologies. So posture-related injuries from computer use, back and neck pain, headaches, and shoulder and arm pain are common computer-related injuries. Such muscles and joint problems can be caused or made worse by poor workstation. So yung desk designs, no? Bad postures and sitting for long periods of time. One should be aware and position that they have to avoid low back pain and other muscle pain. Basically, low back, according to what we studied, low back pain is basically caused by improper posture, usually seen for those exercising exercising sedentary lifestyles and incorrect body postures or body mechanics. Eye strain from computer use, focusing your eyes at the same distance point for a long period of time causes fatigue. So human eye structurally prefers to look at objects more than 6 meters away. So any work performed close up puts extra demands on your eye muscles. One should rest time to time. For children and computer-related injuries, researchers believe that electronic games may be among the causes of childhood obesity, being very overweight, and like adults, children might also get overuse injuries of hands and muscle and joint problems such as back and neck pain or headaches. These could be a proper control in using internet, as addiction can be factors in obesity and other bad sedentary habits. Those are the those are the some of the very important information, no, to consider when using computers. And now for the Data Privacy Act of 2012. The Republic Act 1017-3. This act shall be known as the Data Privacy Act of 2012. And the scope and application of this Republic Act is basically the Data Privacy Act is broadly application to individuals and legal entities that process personal information and some exceptions. No? The law has extraterritorial application, applying not only to businesses and offices in the Philippines, but when equipment based on in the Philippines is used for processing. So the act further applies to the processing of the personal information of the Philippine citizens regardless of where they reside or live. One exception in the Act provides that the law does not apply to processing of personal information in the Philippines that was lawfully collected from residents of foreign jurisdictions. So an exception helpful for Philippines companies that offers cloud services. So the approach of the law is that the Philippine law takes approach that the processing of the personal data should be allowed subject to adherence to the principles of transparency, legitimate purpose, and proportionality. So the collection process and the consent, no, the Act states that the collection of personal data must be a declared, specified, and legitimate purpose, and further provides that consent is required prior to the collection of all personal data. It requires that when obtaining consent and data subject be informed about the extent and purpose of processing, and it specially mentioned the automated processing of his or her personal data for profiling or processing for direct marketing and data sharing. Consent is further required for sharing information with affiliates or even mother companies. Consent must be freely given, specific, and informed, and the definition further requires that consent to collection and processing be evidenced by recorded means. However, processing does not always require consent. Consent is not required for processing where the data subject is party to contractual agreement for purpose of fulfilling that contract. The exception of the compliance with the legal obligation upon the data controller, protection of the vital interest of the data subject, and response to the national emergency are also available. So an exception to consent is allowed where processing is necessary to pursue the legitimate interests of the data controllers. except were overridden by the fundamental rights and freedoms of the data subjects. So for the required agreements, the law requires that when sharing data, the sharing be covered by the agreement that provides adequate safeguards for the rights of the data subjects, and that these agreements are subject to review by the National Privacy Commission. Sensitive personal and privileged information, the law defines the law defines these part of the law, the sensitive personal information, as being about an individual's race, ethnic origin, marital status, age, color, and religions, philosophical or political affiliations. Other than that, about an individual's health, education, genetic, or sexual life of a person, or to any proceeding or any offense committed or alleged to have committed, is also undertaken. So issued by government agencies or peculiar, unique to an individual, such as social security numbers, marked as classified by executive order or act of Congress. So all processing of the sensitive and personal information is prohibited except in certain circumstances. So these are the given exceptions. So the consent of the data subject pursuant to law that does not require consent, necessity to protect life and health of the person, necessity for the medical treatment, necessity to protect lawful rights of the data subjects in court proceedings, legal proceedings, or regulation. So for surveillance, no, the Philippines law states that country's Human Security Act of 2007, a major anti-terrorism law that enables surveillance, no, must comply with the Privacy Act. For the privacy program required, the law requires that any entity involved in data processing and subject to act must develop, implement, and review procedures for the collection of personal data, obtaining consent, limiting processing to define purpose, assess management, providing recourse to data subjects, and appropriate data retention policies. So these requirements necessitate that creation of the privacy program. Requirements for technical security safeguarding act also mandated that an entity have a security program. So for the data subjects' rights, no, the law enumerates rights that are familiar to privacy professionals as related to the principles of notice, choice, access, accuracy, and integrity of the data. So the Philippines law appears to contain right to be forgotten in a form of a right to erase or blocking, where the data subjects may order the removal of his or her personal data from the filing system of the data controller. So exercising this right requires substantial proof, no? The burden of producing which is placed on the data subject. This right is expressly limited by the fact that continued publication may be justified by constitutional rights to freedom of speech and expression and other rights. Notably, the law provides a private right of action for damage for inaccurate, incomplete, outdated, false, unlawfully obtained, or unauthorized use of personal data. The right to data portability is also provided. So for the mandatory personal information breach notification, the law defines security incidents and personal data breach, ensuring that the two are not confused. Now, for the security incident, this is an event or occurrence that affects or tend to affect data protection or many compromise availability, integrity, or confidentiality. This definition includes incidents that would result in personal breach if not for safeguards that have been put in place. So a personal breach, on the other hand, is a subset of a security breach that actually leads to accidental or unlawful destruction, loss, alteration, unauthorized disclosure of or access to personal data transmitted, stored, or otherwise processed. So, requirements to notice. The law further provides that not all personal data breaches requires notifications, which provide several bases for not notifying data subject or the Data Protection Authority. Section 38 of the Implementing Rules and Regulations, or the IRRS, provides the requirements of breach notification, such as: Number 1, the breach information must be sensitive personal information and or information that could be used for identity fraud, and number 2, there is a reasonable belief that unauthorized accusation has occurred, and and the risk to data subject is real and potentially harmful. A harm is serious. So the law provides that the Commission may determine that notification to data subject is unwarranted after taking into account the entity's complete compliance with the Privacy Act and whether the accusation was in good faith. So for the notification timeline and the recipients, the law places a concurrent obligation to notify the National Privacy Commission as well as the affected data subjects within 72 hours of knowledge of or reasonable belief by the data controllers of a personal data breach that requires notification. It is unclear at present whether the Commission would allow a delay in notification of data subjects to allow Commission to determine whether a notification is unwarranted by the law. This would appears to be a gamble. So for the notification contents, the contents of notification must at least, number 1, describe the nature of the breach, the personal data possibly involved, the measures taken by the entity to address the breach, the measures taken to reduce the harm or negative consequence of the breach, the representatives of the personal information controller including their contacts details, and any assistance to be provided to the affected data subjects. So penalties of the law. The law provides separate penalties for various violations, most of which also include imprisonment. Separate counts exist for unauthorized processing, processing for unauthorized purposes, negligent access, improper disposal, unauthorized access or intentional breach, concealment of breach involving sensitive information, personal information, unauthorized disclosure, and malicious disclosures. Any combination or series of acts as defined in section 25 to 32 of the law, the privacy law, may cause the entity to be subject to imprisonment ranging from 3 to 6 years and a fine of not less than 1 million pesos but not more than 5 million pesos. Notably, there is also the previously mentioned private right of action for damage, which would be applied. So, penalties for failure to notify persons having knowledge of security breach involving sensitive personal information and of the obligation to notify the commission of same, and who fail to do so may be subject to penalty for concealment, no, including imprisonment for 1 year and a half to 5 years of imprisonment, and fine of approximately 500,000 to 1 million pesos. Depending upon the circumstances, additional violation might be applied. So that is the all of the that is the last topic, no, lesson 17 about your life online. So these are the references. That's it. Okay? And thank you for listening.